Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and wow, the recent AMA that just happened basically spelt it all out for us. I believe in 2 weeks, you'll be too late to jump on the bullet train that is the OMI token and Veve, if not sooner. In this video, I'm going to recap the highlights from that AMA and why it's about to go off for Ecomi. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. All right, so as I said, we just had a recent AMA, which was done on Twitter Spaces with David, Dan, Reese, Alex, and even Jeremy Padower. Uncle Jeremy hopped on just to say hello. There were excellent questions that were answered and a lot of clarifications that left me really happy that I added to my bags earlier this week. Let's get right into it. So let's start with the questions and answers that Veve actually posted up directly on Twitter. And I'll actually add some of the details and thoughts into these as well, because I took a lot of notes. So the first piece was MTL, final stages of compliance with payment partners and our banking institution. Once ready, gem to fiat will be at omi.veve.me only. At first, only a few select users will be invited to test before we open it up to the full audience. More on web wallet and KYC soon. So it won't be initially in the app. It'll actually be on the website where you type in omi.veve.me, which it's extremely simple. It's just not in the app. Basically, open the browser, type this in, and log in like you would the app. And that's how you would use this. And it's not here yet, but when it is, that's where you would do so. Now it says only a few select users will be invited to test before we open it up. Now, I think this is going to be very select few, and most likely some who don't have a massive collection, right? Because if you choose people who have massive collections, then they could really create a big sell-off of a certain collectible. So I think this is going to be very controlled, more on the web wallet and KYC soon, which they did say in order to cash out, you will have to go through KYC just to make sure that everyone is who they say they are, and that is a good thing. We want to make sure that there are no compliance issues with Veve. This piece, Immutable X, they talked about it quite a bit in the AMA, and they said final stretch. We'll be releasing info on how to use token swap site, exchanges, going between L1 and L2, how-tos, etc. First phase will be migration from GoChain to Immutable X, then interoperability once everything is set. So the how to use token swap site, just about there, and they're going to make this very simple and pain-free as possible. Exchanges. This is the piece that we've been asked about for so long, right? Like, we know that getting OMI is not an easy step. So many have just been waiting on the sidelines, but you've accumulated your bags, and it's going to be hitting a number of exchanges. I mean, we just saw Shiba get listed by Coinbase. We've seen much simpler tokens be listed by KuCoin and Binance. So I'm expecting some pretty big exchanges to be announced not only at the time of Immutable X or around it, but also in the months to come. And they did say Immutable X is still planned for end of September. So roughly 2 weeks away. And they did say one thing I forgot to add was then interoperability once everything is set. So they want to make sure everything goes on Immutable X. And then we'll see that interoperability come into play where we'll start seeing collectibles able to mint onto like OpenSea Marketplace. Will everything that is not allowed to be interoperable still be minted on Immutable? Everything is minted on chain as an NFT. So they will all be minted as NFTs on Immutable X. But some will be gated in the Veve app and some will not initially. But they go on to say each licensor wants to be revenue positive. So we think most will be interoperable at some point, but some may take longer. So again, most will be interoperable at some point, but I think with the amount of money that some of these initial are going to be making, it's going to be an easy conversation. MCP, Master Collector Program, started development October of last year, but then Veve happened, right? They shot up to incredible numbers. They did not expect this kind of growth for years, which caused a bit of a delay. In hindsight, though, it has been good to revise the plan based on data and community feedback. We believe it will fall in line with the community expectations. As a community, our expectations are set so high compared to other communities for other projects. So them saying they believe it's going to fall in line with our expectations, that has me very bullish on what the Master Collector program is. And they know MTL will create those who are looking to sell collectibles and possibly create a sell-off on that. They know people are trying to accumulate OMI for it to run up and maybe wait for it to hit, 2 cents or whatever, then get out. But they're building up Master Collector Program to keep that stickiness, to make sure that you don't want to sell your OMI. You don't want to sell your collectibles, because if you don't, you're going to be incentivized to hold them. And that's why they've been working so long and putting so much emphasis into this, because it is going to be incredible. Then they went to the viviverse, which integration with OMI and utility. So this is that argument, right? Like there's no utility to the OMI token. We will be selling land that can purchase with fiat or OMI. Now, some are to kind of put off by this, like why fiat? Again, mass adoption. So being able to buy land so that way you can own a piece in viviverse, even if you don't care about crypto, but you want a place to actually, sell and make a shop or whatever on the land, is important for people who aren't in crypto. However, you will be able to use OMI, and they directly said that that OMI that is used in the viviverse or whatever will be burnt, sent to the burnt wallet, diminishing the circulating supply, all based on demand. And if you think there's demand for the collectibles or comics, wait till a metaverse comes. People are going to lose their minds. And they said they're actually going to be putting out an article the end of September that actually touches on OMI's utility, which that will get a bunch of people who jumped out initially to say, oh, there's no utility, I'm out, to hop back in. We've seen what's happened to many crypto that are either metaverse or play to earns, where they're close to their metaverse, or they're granted added utility, or they are added to a major exchange like Gala, Illuvium. All of them have jumped up on that news. What do you think is going to happen to OMI? They said yes to viviverse. They said yes to land. They said yes to customizable avatars. They said yes to upgrades made around utility, and some that are not. And they said that each piece of land will be an NFT, of course, but it'll also be limited. So you'll have a limited chance to buy a certain amount to keep it fair. But then they said if you don't buy any land in the first set, you'll be able to buy other lands as it expands. So they're not just planning on dropping one area and then have it be done. They're kind of doing what Decentraland has done, and they're going to do multiple areas or land drops, or maybe it's almost like in a game where you have to play enough or there's enough time until you reveal the next piece of the map. Either way, I'm so stoked for the viviverse, and this is one of the many reasons why I've been stacking up. Comics, more functionality is coming, like tilting comics using the AR reader, working on better sorting and organization of digital comics alongside collectibles. Comics showing up in the wishlist is also coming. I think this is great because we saw comics have been shooting up, commons, everything, which is insane, because when you look at 10K drops and the price of them goes up a little bit, or sometimes they do really well, a lot of these comics are 60K drops, and there is no differentiation between them, but they are able to show an AR, and they're Marvel, which on that, when asked about DC Comics, they didn't answer yes, but they did kind of say, oh, maybe, we'll see. So I think DC Comics are not far behind. And again, fingers crossed for digital manga eventually. Showroom version 2. On this, they say nearly ready, but in the AMA, they said it's ready. They said that they're just giving a little bit of time for old showrooms to basically turn into downloadable content, because people have put a lot of time into those rooms. So they want to make sure that they have the ability to save those, that we've opened up a space where people can place their collectibles in the sky at any size. I think they said they could blow it up to like 50x outside, which is incredible. Blank canvas space option where you can create your showroom from scratch too, which is pretty unique, right? Like maybe you don't want all the walls, or maybe you don't want the showroom look. So you want to actually make something completely legit from your own, which is pretty cool. Accessories also coming, which we've been waiting for, the shelvings and hopefully house plants and all that craziness. We love the showroom creativity from the community, which that's what sold Tom Bilyeu. That's what sold many, is it's brought out the artistic ability of many, and vaults are really going to be a big piece that help NFTs really branch out to the major majorities. Then, oh, it's not just a JPEG. Look at the creativity that you can do with a vault. Look at what these people at Vivi are doing. And that's what really sold Tom Bilyeu, and it's going to bring attention to others as well. Can you build messaging into the app? Yes, we understand there are certain use cases where messaging in the app can be useful. So we are working on it and adding that functionality in the future, which again, they said that they want Vivi to be more of a social app, especially in the near future. So that way it has a way for all of us to communicate and again, engage with each other in that Viviverse. When does season 2 end and season 3 begin? Season 2 ends on October 14th and season 3 starts October 15th. Stay tuned for more info. So we're just about done with season 2. Another question that was tied around this is they said, what are your thoughts on season 1 collectibles? Or do you think those will be a lot more in value like years down the line? And they responded and said, when it comes to the mints, they're just going to keep increasing on some, right? Like as they go up in seasons. So when you look back at it, season 1s will be highly coveted. And then the other piece of this was someone asked about when Edo. When are we going to finally get Edo? And they said, no promises, but Edo should be coming before the end of season 2. So roughly within 3 or 4 weeks, we should be seeing Edo from the Ultraman drop finally, which is a season 1. They brought up the ability to actually sign, again, the digital signatures on collectibles or comic books. We'll be rolling out a digital signature feature in the future. Artists can sign NFTs at events, and that signature will be bundled. Proof of signature also on the roadmap. Really, really cool. This is going to actually encourage many to actually go to more Comic-Cons and events like that. So this is only going to help Veve work more with artists, especially big name artists who are going to these events, because they know it'll attract more more awareness for those artists and those brands and licenses to the events where they're going to have the most media. They asked again around the multi-language support in the app or localization. Cannot stress enough how big this piece is going to be. We'll see what we can do to get it bumped up on the priority list. So hopefully by the end of the year. It sounds like it's a way out still, which I really wish they would bump this up to like in the next month. But again, the influx that's going to come from this is going to be substantial. So maybe they're just trying to batten down the hatches before that happens. And it will also help all the Ecomi, OMI language groups on Telegram and Veve groups coming to Discord as well. So I know there's multiple language channels like French and Dutch and German and Spanish and many, many more. New York Comic-Con, many cool drops throughout that week. Similar to the San Diego Comic-Con one we did earlier this year, we'll have con exclusive tags and lower edition runs. They didn't say that they were partnering with New York Comic-Con, but they will be doing something specific for the event. Gemgate. This was a bug where people got more gems than they paid for, need to recoup that lost profit product as a business, but those affected will get a secret rare collectible as an apology for the inconvenience and frustration around the issue. We have the final list of users already. Now, off the bat, I don't know if I qualified for this or who did, but I will just say this. This actually kind of grinds my gears a little bit. I don't like the fact that people continue to receive secret rares because of issues. I think secret rares should be evenly distributed through drops or paid for in the marketplace, because secret rares are so unique and so few that I feel like just giving them out because of mistakes just doesn't really feel like a true collecting nature. And so this piece I really don't like, and I hope it doesn't continue where people are rewarded based on issues. And then they go on and say updates on everything else, hashtag soon, with good old David Yu. And one last thing that actually Alex said at the end was he's going to be hopping on the stream with the Woman X Veve team, which is run by Wendy, and can't wait to see it. And he said, make sure you watch it because he's going to be dropping some big news on that stream. Hopefully it's something around marketing on Veve or marketing on OMI. I don't know, but I can't wait to see that stream. So they basically just took everything and laid out a pretty solid answer to what we've been asking for, roadmap, but it sounds like just about everything is happening in 2 to 4 weeks. So when I said this is your last chance, I mean this is your last chance, because it's all at our doorstep now. Many have been frustrated because they've been holding OMI patiently, right? While they've been watching other crypto just shoot up. That patience is finally going to be rewarded because there are so many things about to happen. It's going to surprise all the people who sold, all the people who've said, oh, they're not NFTs, all the people who've said the token has no utility, and all the people who said, well, the total circulating supply is way too high. They'll never burn through all that. Immutable X exchanges, buybacks, land, accessories, better showrooms, interoperability, localization, all of those things are going to make all of those excuses null and void soon. Which, when those naysayers and people who hopped out no longer have excuses to stay out and the price is shooting up, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to FOMO or just think, all right, this is an investment, and then buy OMI, the collectibles, and they have much bigger names in the space than mine or yours and much bigger bags for some serious investments. So I'm actually really happy that we had this much time in between to stack up more. So as I said in the title, this is your last chance to get back in. No shame or negativity if you doubted it and hopped out. Now is the time to join us or just watch us rise. But for those diamond hand savages who never sold and just dollar cost average as the price was down, pack your bags because we're about to blast off. I'll be announcing the winners of the Veve Collectibles giveaway that I announced earlier this week on a live stream today. So in order to qualify, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, liked that video, and leave a comment on that video saying which collectibles you want to see come to the app. As always, I hope you found my content valuable, and if so, please leave a like and a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel to continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, and happy trading.